Ahum everyone, and thank you for joining me today. Today, I am going to talk to you about pinpointing negative energies or frequencies, lower frequencies, things that cause chaos, things that frequencies that cause disruption, that cause a slowing down of flow in your home, at work, in different parts of rooms. And while it is going to take 7 to 10 days for these energies to actually get attracted to the contraption that we're going to be building, um, it is still a good way of having this system in your back pocket just in case you forget your pendulum or it shatters or it breaks, or this is in case you find yourself somewhere that you need to find out what's going on, um, especially if you have uh, your own business and you can put this where you need to put it because it is your business. You can do whatever the heck you want with it. I usually like to use a deep bowl, like a cereal bowl. I like glass. In this case, I'm using Corelle because these have shattered before because of the energy. The other thing, sorry, we're having uh, construction. It's not a dead person. When it stops, that's when I have to run up and see. And then I use a mason jar. I like mason jars. They're very tough. They're also clear, and it's okay if it's got all these little things. The only thing we want to do is actually bring in the negative energy or the lower frequencies. And because it's a tough jar, it's going to withstand where I've seen it has exploded, or it has actually chipped because of the energy. Now, we are going to be using two um, two ingredients that, yes, scientifically, they can work together and form something. But the reason why we're using this scientific chemistry or chemicals is because what it will actually do is it is actually going to trap the lower frequencies and energies that it is actually going to attract. We all know what vinegar does as far as cleansing and as far as magic that we can use, which is a natural magic. What can you not do with distilled white vinegar, right? Uh, but we also know the magical uh, and spiritual properties of sea salt. Sea salt that is not iodized, okay? You just want straightforward sea salt. And it doesn't have to be the expensive kind. People are going to tell you, you know how everybody says, well, if it's expensive, it's got to be better. No, just look at the ingredients, look and see where it comes from, and if there's anything added. If it is, then you may want to look at the brand next to it. Okay. I don't use kosher salt at this point, but you can if you wanted to. If your intuition tells you use kosher salt, then by all means use it. But the sea salt, the one that says sea salt, pure, 100% pure sea salt, that is the one you can use. You certainly could use Himalayan salt, but that is so expensive because of the amount that you're going to use. And I like to use Himalayan salt for other things, not to trap energies. It is more for the healing side of it all, right? That's what I usually use Himalayan salt with. Another thing that I want to let you know is what I put inside the mason jar before I even start anything. One of the things I like to do is I like to put just a small piece of amethyst that I know that I can do without, because it is all going to go back into the soil, back into Gaia, so it can ground and it can find a mutual loving and compassionate space in our world. It is, after all, just salt and just vinegar. So we're going to get the purpose of our glass bowl and our deep bowl. And the reason why I use this size mason jar is if you fill it and you pour it, it's not going to fall out, all right? But the concoction that we're building in here will ferment and could come out. Therefore, I usually, what I like to do is, while a lot of you are going to want to fill this up with your concoction, I really like to show you that all you need to do is maybe get a piece of tape or something that tells you, like I can use one of these things so I can show you. You're going to put in your amethyst because you want it to give it energy to attract more. You give it power to attract more of the negative energy. I'm going to get one of these little things and I'm going to say, okay, well, this is going to be, I'm going to put it actually a little lower. This is going to be how much I'm going to fill this up with. Because even though sometimes it will ferment over, which is a great thing, if it ferments just from here to here, it is perfect, which is also a great thing. So this is going to be the level of liquid and salt that I'm going to be using. So the salt, which I'm going to show you here, is going to be smack in the middle. You're going to add salt to about here. Okay? Your sea salt or your kosher salt, whichever it is that your intuition tells you to use. There is no right or wrong. There is only love and compassion for what it is you're trying to do. So you're going to add your salt midway. You're going to drop in your amethyst to give it the energy that it needs to start attracting. You are going to then add very slowly, very mindfully, you're going to add the vinegar up to here. Okay? And when you add the vinegar up to here, that's it. You're going to have 3 ingredients in there. You're going to have the powerhouse, which is going to be your amethyst, bringing in and calling in. Then you're going to have the vinegar and you're going to have the salt, which is going to form a chemical reaction, right? That is actually going to hold in those negative energies. And you're going to stick this inside your bowl, just in case it just comes over and falls inside the glass bowl, which is fine. Doesn't matter if it does or it doesn't, because if it doesn't, then that means that there is a certain amount of negative energy and it just got trapped in here. It didn't spill over. That's fine. Wash it under cold running water or in the hose outside. Hose it down. Open a big hole. Throw your amethyst in. You're giving it back to the earth. The earth will then grab it, ground it, and get rid of anything that does not belong in the frequencies that you're supposed to be working under or over. Then this, you can throw this away. That's why I use mason jars, because they're so freaking cheap and you can throw it away. Why do you throw it away? Glass has pores. So whatever it is that's in there, it's going to be thrown out because it is part of a chemical reaction and stuff. Now, I want you to listen to me very, 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 very well. Children are not supposed to be anywhere near this. We're talking negative energies and chemical reactions. Pets are not supposed to be anywhere near this. Again, we're talking about chemical reactions. We're using science to actually grab and hold and keep negative energies from seeping back out. And you may want to repeat this every 7 to 10 days. Put it on top of the cupboards, a cupboard that is not closed with the doors, and all of that, because you want to put it in a place where no one can get to it. Guys, if you have birds that fly around the house, find another way or keep them for the next 10 days in their cages, unfortunately, or move them to another room that they can fly. I know because I have birds, and all of that. Then what you do is, once you see that there is a chemical reaction, because it is going to happen. Guys, you may just have a small amount of negative energy that is actually not causing anything in your home or in your life or at work or anything. It is still going to manifest in here because there are negative energies that come in from different places, and they flow through negative or energies from the other side could also come in here, and negative energies that you get sent by someone just thinking ill feelings about you or any envy, this is going to get trapped in here. But at the same time, in your home and in your work environment, you're going to continue with the incense. You're going to continue with that beautiful bay leaf, and buy the big bay leaves and burn that bay leaf at least once a week, because then that is actually going to then bring up more of the high frequencies. And then you're giving this back. You're giving back a nice gift to Gaia by opening a hole on the ground and giving her back a crystal that is supposed to be there anyway. The size of the crystal does not matter. It could be a very tiny piece. You can get a big piece about this big and hammer it down and get little pieces, put in a little bag. And every time you do this, you can use any one of those pieces. If your intuition tells you to change the crystal at any point to another type of crystal, then do so. But the idea here is just to trap any negative frequencies and vibrations. And you're going to see, if you suspect, this is a great tool to use. And the reason, and I use Corel because it doesn't break, because I have seen these two things burst because the energy is so big. Now, you may want to try this in your living room. And if it's very subtle there, but because you're going to know that there's something there, then go into your bedroom and try it there for 7 to 10 days. Then go to another room and measure it and keep a journal of which room had the most activity. You may find that you have a vortex. You may find that you have a place where just negative energies actually concentrate or get produced. In that case, then you need to find yourself, if you're not very familiar on how to deal with this, find yourself someone that does. The last thing you want to do is disrupt anything that may want to spread. And in this day and age, something like this, a good smudging, a good bay leaf here and there, incense and prayer, it's usually good enough. But this here works very, very well. So if you are missing some tools and you need to go back to basics, this is it. Again, I don't fill this out, although people do fill it, and it's perfectly fine, because when it does spill over, if it spills over, it's going to spill over in here. Now, why do I use white instead of any other color? I use white because it does represent all the spectrum, the color spectrum. All right, the entire color spectrum is in this white bowl. So I use white. Just like candles, I use white candles. It's only when I'm teaching you guys that I use different color candles because they smell nice. But white is all the colors of the spectrum. Now, there are some people that I've seen that they do this. They get their bowl, they put their mason jars that way, and then they'll do this. This works as well, but just understand, though, that what we're doing is we're trapping in here so that we can throw this out. Then we don't have to throw this out as well, because this is porosity. Okay, so this should be able to take care of you finding the negative energies, pinpointing it, and know what to do next in order to release these negative energies and get you where you need to be. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for learning with me. and a home. Have a beautiful day. If you do this, take pictures. Let us see what it is that you get. Have a great weekend.